Remember when retirement meant freedom? You worked a job for 40 years, got a gold watch, moved to Florida, and spent your golden years yelling at squirrels and Fox News from your screened-in porch? Now, retirement means you spent your lunch break calculating if you can live off air-fried lentils and good vibes by 2055. Your savings app has more anxiety than you do. Your side hustle just laid you off. And your 401 is basically a glorified mood ring that says mostly cloudy. So today, we ask the big one. Can you actually retire in 2025? Or is that just a bedtime story invented by boomers and pushed by banks that still charge you $5 to talk to a human? Welcome to the Headline Roast, Weekend Edition, where we toast the week's biggest themes with more sass than a fintech founder in a Patagonia vest. This isn't financial advice. It's financial reality dressed up in punchlines, powered by panic, and sponsored by your unopened budgeting spreadsheet. Subscribe now and join the roast fam. We roast the headlines so you can sound smart at bruncher, at least fake it long enough to avoid Venmoing for the group mimosa. The Dream V's. The reality. Once upon a time, retirement was a linear path. Graduate college, work a stable job, collect a pension, buy a house, retire at 65 with a golf swing and a timeshare. Now, retirement is a side quest inside a side hustle, buried under a mountain of interest rates and almond milk receipts. The old dream has been replaced by housing prices that make you cry in Zillow, flexible work that means no health insurance, a 401 that's mostly powered by hope and Q for earnings reports, an early retirement that now just means your startup failed before it launched. Even the word retire feels outdated. Boomers hear leisure, millennials hear delusion, Gen Z hears LOL. The plan they told us to follow. Let's revisit the classic advice. Save 10 to 15% of your income. Max out your Roth IRA. Don't touch your investments. Let compound interest do the heavy lifting. Simple, right? Sure, if you earn a stable income. You don't live in a city where rent is a second mortgage. You don't have medical debt, student loans, or an unexpected dental emergency that costs more than your car. Also, no one told us that saving 15% becomes harder when wages stagnate but brunch costs $28. We were promised pensions. We got avocado toast. We were told Social Security would be there. Now we're told, maybe until 2034 if vibes hold strong. Meanwhile, personal finance books keep saying, skip the latte. Bro, the latte isn't the problem. My landlord is. What's actually happening now? Let's look at the numbers and then scream into our budgeting apps. According to Vanguard, the average 401 balance for Americans age 65 is about $232,000, which sounds decent until you realize that, at 4% withdrawal per year, that's just $9,280 annually. So yeah, your retirement income might cover Netflix, oat milk, and exactly one root canal. Over half of American workers don't even have access to a retirement plan through work. And among those who do, many can't afford to contribute enough to matter. Meanwhile, inflation is running faster than your emergency fund can stretch, and healthcare costs. Astronomical. Medicare covers some things but not dental, hearing, vision, or existential dread. Ooh, and let's not forget housing. If you didn't buy 20 years ago, you're either renting indefinitely or trying to win the Zillow Hunger Games, the retirement industrial complex. So naturally, the personal finance content machine is booming. There are TikTokers promising to teach you to retire by 30 if you never eat out, invest in 3 ETFs, sleep on a floor mat, develop 0 hobbies that cost money. Then there's the FIRE movement, financial independence, retire early. Cool acronym, harsh reality. FIRE disciples treat budgeting like a religion. They're spreadsheet wizards. They count calories in cash. They track every expense with the precision of a NASA launch team. Respect to them, but for the rest of us, fire sounds exhausting, a more flickering ember than fire. Still burning, but mostly out of frustration. And then there's the boomer version of retirement. Just work hard, invest in mutual funds, and you'll be fine. Sure, Bob, you bought your house for $73,000. It's worth $1.2 million now. We're trying to decide if we can afford 2-ply toilet paper. What retirement might actually look like best case? You semi-writer. You pick up a flexible part-time gig that doesn't suck. You move to a cheaper state with fewer potholes and lower property taxes. Maybe you house hack. Rent out a room. Walk dogs. Sell niche knowledge via an ebook called Retire Before 80. My journey to mostly okay. You'll have peace of mind, sort of. You'll do yoga. You'll grow tomatoes. And maybe, just maybe, you'll own your time. Worst case. You're still working at 73, asking the new intern how to unjam the printer? And wondering if you can write off your ergonomic chair? Most likely. You'll live somewhere between hustle and hammock. You'll work on your terms, not because you have to, but because health insurance is a vibe killer. THE, early retirement trap, fire, fantasies, and the fine print. Let's talk about the dream within the dream. Early retirement, also known as FIRE, financial independence. Retire early. It's the movement that says if you save 70% of your income, live off rice and beans, bike everywhere, and automate your investments like a Wall Street monk, you can retire by 35. Sounds great, till you remember. Most people don't earn Silicon Valley money. Rent is a 4-letter word, and your emergency fund just paid for your dog's MRI and your car's tantrum. FIRE folks love spreadsheets. They track expenses like CIA analysts. They measure net worth in quarter-hour increments, and some of them do make it because they started early, avoided major crises, and/or married someone with dental. But here's the truth. Early retirement is possible. If you're willing to live like you've already retired in 1942, you won't be flying to Italy. You'll be meal prepping lentils and watching Netflix on your friend's login. You won't be working a cushy job. You'll be doing no job and possibly having an identity crisis. For some, that's freedom. For others, that's poverty in a hoodie. Early retirement is not a scam, but it's not a solution for everyone. It takes discipline, high income, low lifestyle inflation, and enough social support to make a monk jealous. If you want fire, be prepared to burn something. Your hobbies, your comfort, or your Wi-Fi speed. What you can actually do? Here's the thing. You're not doomed. You're just not rich. That's a very normal, very survivable condition with the right expectations. Start saving. It's even $5 counts. Automate it. You're forgetful. Let the robots help. If you're in your 20s, you have time. If you're in your 40s, you have urgency. If you're in your 60s, well, it's never too late to optimize. Diversify across investments, income streams, and where you buy your almond butter. Also, don't compare yourself to others. Don't panic buy gold bars. Don't listen to that one uncle who insists Bitcoin will bounce back. Retirement planning is like flossing. It's boring, important, and you'll regret skipping it later. Brainteaser answer plus new riddle. Before we wrap, let's solve yesterday's roast riddle, because wisdom doesn't always come from spreadsheets. Sometimes it comes from candles. I'm tall when I'm young, and I'm short when I'm old. What am I? Hint: you've probably stared at me while thinking deep thoughts, or just burning time. Answer: a candle. Like your ambition at 22, or your 401 after a rough Q3. Now for today's brain teaser. If you save $5 a day starting at age 23, and the market returns 7% annually, how long until you can afford one emergency root canal in America? We'll reveal the answer in tomorrow's Roastin', lest inflation gets to it first. Final thought. Retirement in 2025 isn't a finish line, it's a juggling act, which I hope, hustle, and a really well-organized Google Sheet. It's knowing that even if the system isn't built for you, you can still learn to play the game with style and, maybe even sarcasm. This has been the Headline Roast, Weekend Edition. Comment. And subscribe if you plan to retire someday, or at least want to stop pretending you understand your 403. We roast the headlines so you don't have to Google them. New episodes every Saturday and Sunday.